The beauty of these trees is that once you cut them, they sprout again. So you can cut and recut them. Now just look at the size of this one. And then it is almost like a lifetime investment, which can be passed on from generation to generation. Look at this. This one. It has been cut, and 1, 2, 3 others cut, and look at that. Very big one. Another one is here, and 2 others are coming. This is a forest. It's a forest in the making. Give me another 10 years and this will be a very big forest. This is a 10-year investment. So if you are far away from your farm, this is a good crop to put, because once you have weeded them the first 1 or 2 rounds, and then here it is. It becomes very clear, as you can see. You do not need people to come and weed again, because these ones have already been weeded. Actually, this is blue gum, eucalyptus if you want to call it. Some people call it hardwood, and here in Kenya it has many uses. You might want to use it for fencing, making posts, or if you're in the rural area, it can be a very good way of fuel, that is for cooking. But you can also use it for making timber. They just split the timber, then you're able to use it for roofing or even building. Even in the foundation, you can also use it for measurement. So it has multiple purposes. And if you leave it on the farm for long, they can really grow big. Then after some time, you can cut the trees down and use them for whatever function that you would like. So they're in different sizes. They actually grow in different sizes, but it's good if you plant them the correct distance apart from each other, maybe 2 feet, because they will grow bigger. So look at that, this size. Just look at this size. And then compare it with this side, which my hand cannot even go around. So it really depends. And then this one here is very thin. There are some that do not grow the same. Now like this one, it has started putting other branches at a very awkward place. But once you cut them, it is not finished. You can still harvest them again because they are going to put on other branches. So if you have a space where you are wondering what to do, just plant trees, eucalyptus or any other. For me, I prefer these ones because it takes a while for you to harvest them, and the uses are quite. So the beauty of these trees is that once you cut them, they sprout again. So you can cut and recut them. Now just look at the size of this one. And then it has already another one which can be cut. This is almost like a lifetime investment, which can be passed on from generation to generation. Look at this. And they can really grow big. And for you to fell them, you need a power saw. Otherwise you just can't cut them. Then ensure that you have fenced. And as I was saying earlier, you need to have a big separation between you and your neighbor, so that you don't get into trouble about the shade that is affecting the plants of the other neighbor. Fortunately, our neighbor here has also planted trees, and so there is no quarrel. These trees are really old, very old. when this farm was bought in 1974. Some of these trees were already here, like this one. It has been cut, and 1, 2, 3 others cut, and look at that. Very big one. Another one is here, and 2 others are coming. So these are things that we need to learn so that we can save on doing and redoing, repeating. So you see, like this one, they hacked inside after it had been cut down. The stump was actually hacked for firewood, but it also sprouted again, and just see that tree. Really big. This is another one. Very big tree. Just look at that size. You can imagine how much timber can be got from this tree. This is a lot of money that was got from this tree. So you may be wondering what else you can do, because it's now very clear, as you can see. Very clear. You cannot plant anything here. But this is a good place where you can also make another type of farming, which is bee keeping. And you can have several hives. And that is what I'm thinking about doing, so that by the time I'm cutting these trees, which will take a long time, I'll be able to harvest also honey, as well as harvest the trees. So I want you to make a comparison. Look at these green grams, the way they are doing well. Very beautiful, and already the pods have started forming. This is in comparison to these green grams. Just look at how small they are, and they are really spaced. They don't look very healthy, and this is the reason. When you plant trees, especially eucalyptus trees, they form a very big shade, and then they affect the crops that are nearby. So it is important that you leave some space between where you have planted the trees and where you're going to put the crops, because definitely they are going to be affected. The better version is make a valley in between the trees and the crops so that it's not affected. And if you have a neighbor, please avoid getting yourself into trouble by your neighbor complaining that because of your trees, their crops are not doing well. This is just good information. These are good tips for any farmer. Just be informed.